Hello. Hey y'all, and welcome to Melanated Maker DIY. It's me, Taji, and if you haven't been to my corner of the internet before, welcome! I make videos sharing DIY and home makeover projects and the life lessons I've learned that go beyond the lumber and the power tools. I love taking y'all on the journey of these projects as I turn my house into a home for my family. So if you like DIY, if you're a creative, or if you just like listening to the inner dialogue and ramblings of a stressed out mom, I would love for you to subscribe so you can follow along. We are finally in the last episode of this entertainment series where I turned 2 Ikea Pax units and a media console into the entertainment center of my dreams, y'all. We started with framing out the structure, then we added doors and drawers, and now we are bringing this baby home. If you haven't seen the first 2 videos, you are missing out. So go check it out and then come back so you can embrace the full transformation and get all the tea along the way. So to elevate this entertainment center and make it look like a true built-in, I wanted to extend it up to the ceiling. So I decided to build a soffit. Do I know what the professional construction purpose of a soffit is? No. But my expert, non-professional DIY answer is that it's basically a box to fill in the gap between something and the ceiling. I feel like I often see them over cabinets, but here we're going to do them over the entertainment center. So I built this box about a half an inch shorter than the space between the Ikea Pax units and the ceiling. I wanted to make sure that it was going to fit without any issues, and I knew the molding that I had planned for the entertainment center would cover the gaps. So think smarter, y'all, not harder. So by the time that I got to this stage of the project, my husband and I had actually decided that we were ready to move out of this starter home and into our hopefully forever home. I say hopefully because if you have ever sold and bought a house at the same time, you know how stressful it is, and I truly hope to never have to move again. I'm actually recording this now from the office in our new house, so make sure you subscribe and then buckle in because it was a trip. But yes, so I'm installing a mount onto the soffit for a fun little light feature. I bought these great lights for the entertainment center on Amazon, and while one of the screws did fall off during install, the lights themselves work fantastic, and I really love the way that they look. It's remote controlled, and I was able to use my normal phone charger to charge them. If you also like it and want to grab these, I thought that they were affordable, and I've got them linked below. So installing these soffits onto the top of the Pax unit were really simple. My husband helped me out, and it was so satisfying to see the vision coming into place. I was originally going to build one extra long soffit to go across the top of the entertainment center, but I changed my mind, which I'm glad that I did because it would have been a whole lot of extra work, and I honestly don't think that the payoff would have been worth it. So I don't want to gatekeep any of this reveal, so here's a look at the light fixtures. I love these so much. They are just chef's kiss. Also, I was originally going to drill these soffits into the stud in the wall, which is why I left the sides open, but I decided to just attach them to the Pax unit from the bottom, and then the trim and molding would help to hold it in place. So I nailed the sides on, and then it was time for a Home Depot trip for trim and molding. So I don't think it's a real project if you don't have to go to Home Depot at least once during it. Also, if you don't cry at least once during a project, but I already did that earlier in the build. So I measured out how much trim and molding I would need for this and cut an extra 6 or 9 inches of trim just to allow for the mitered cuts or any small mistakes. These mitered cuts were a trip because they were going around 2 different corners and I really didn't have the extra materials to mess things up. So I was doing so much thinking before every cut to make sure I got it right. Even then, I still messed it up and ended up redoing one side of the entertainment center, but thankfully it was a small enough fix that it barely cost anything to do, but it did include another trip to Home Depot, so that's how you know it's a real project. So during this project, there was so much life just happening. From coming into motherhood, I changed jobs, I had a family medical emergency that was going on, and it was just one thing after another, and I felt like I couldn't get a break. I felt like I couldn't catch my breath. And I stopped doing this project so many times while just not having the energy or the motivation or the time. And one day I was doing laundry and I was watching Janet Domahina's vlog, and she said, life isn't fair. We can become victims to our circumstances, but your reactions and your responses will define how you go through life and where you end up. So how are you going to show up for yourself? And it was in that moment that I was reminded that nobody is going to save you. And I know that sounds harsh, but like, nobody's going to save you. You have to save yourself. And that's not to say that I didn't have an incredible support group and my husband and my family and friends while all of this was happening, but just that if I was going to start to get out of this hole that I was in, I was going to have to do it myself. And do it myself I did. And so if you're feeling down or overwhelmed or whatever it is, find a way to show up for yourself. It doesn't happen in an instant. It doesn't happen in a day. It can be small. It takes time and consistency of showing up for yourself and finding ways to make whatever situation you're in better in whatever way that works for you. For me, in this case, it was DIY. And like I've said before, it's not just do it yourself, it's do it for yourself. And finishing this project was not only a weight off my shoulder so that we could list our house, it was the push that I needed in gaining momentum to take back control of my life. Woo, I had to get that off my chest. I told y'all we were getting into transformations today, okay? And I was not lying. So let's check in with Project Taji on this trim and figure out what's going on. Damn, that's insane. Oh my God, that's insane. I've never been more happy. Wow. So like I mentioned earlier, this side of the entertainment center's trim was just not up to my standard, and we are no longer settling for good enough in any aspect of life. So I pulled the trim off and I redid it. The walls in your home aren't straight, and neither are mine, and it was just throwing off my mitered edges, and I'm just that person that once I see it, I can't unsee it, and it had to be fixed. Okay, so I should be in the shot. Hello, I feel very sweaty, but maybe the makeup is making up. So no, this is still not perfect, but it's a ton better than it was. And I think the small imperfections that are there, I can just paint, and hopefully they won't be noticeable. I'm out of breath because I'm so tired of climbing up and down this ladder. But it looks better. I'm glad I took the time and spent the $8 for extra trim to get this fixed. So, yes. Okay, I am descending very slowly. As we jump into the finishing stage of this project, I taped every corner, edge, nook, and cranny so I could dive into all the caulking, painting, and staining that I needed to do to bring this baby home. At this point, I was ready to power through and finally finish this entertainment center. Finally, we're moving into caulk, which is honestly a favorite task of mine because as you can see, I like to get myself a little drinky drink, turn up some music, and just vibe while I knock this out. Okay, so as you can see, there's kind of a gap between the wall. Hopefully I'm showing it well, even with kind of this angle. This is like at the very top of the wall, so it's a little hard to hold the camera. Anyways, I am just literally tucking in. I like ripped up a little piece of paper towel. I'm just gonna tuck it in there to fill this like teensy little gap, and then I'm just gonna like caulk over it. And that is gonna be a great solution. So let me do that, and then I will show you what it looks like at the end. And trust me, when it was all said and done, I completely forgot about that little paper towel hack until I'm sitting here watching the footage, putting this video together. And as you can see, that paper towel solution worked perfectly. I wish I'd gotten a clip with the blue painter's tape there, but you couldn't even tell there was a gap to begin with. I can't even tell if it's noticeable. I feel like it is in person. I feel like it is. So on this side, you can see I like trimmed this out, and then this side I haven't done yet. And I feel like it just like, it frames it in, it like boxes it in. So yeah, no. Quick little easy trim, 20 bucks. I feel like it just does a really nice finishing touch on it. But yeah, if you like look at this compared to this where it's not framed in, and then you look at this where it is, I feel like it's a big difference. So I like it. We're doing it. So originally I had no plans of adding trim to the front of this Pax unit, but once I had the trim and molding on and caulked, it felt like a necessity to elevate everything with this entertainment center by adding trim to the front. I painted everything the same shade of white that I painted the doors and drawers. And if you're curious how I painted these Ikea Pax units, I actually just put some liquid sandpaper on them to give it some grip for the paint. Because I don't know whatever the material is called for the Pax units. It's this shiny, slick material that paint doesn't really stick to well. And so the liquid sandpaper just gave it some texture for the paint to hold on to. So we are in the home stretch and we are finally staining. I used a combo of Varathane's weathered oak and then followed that with a coat of early American. It gave me this perfect, not too light, not too dark, kind of goes with everything shade for the entertainment center. So no matter what furniture I put in or the future homeowners would put in, my hope was that this stain combination would work for everything. I finished all of it with some wipe-on poly to seal it and added some hardware and called it a wrap. Just in case you forgot where we started, I started this project in April of 2022 with a media console and 2 Ikea Pax units, and we conquered a lot, y'all. We added trim, we built a butcher block countertop, we made doors and drawers and shelves. We built a soffit. We added lights. We painted and stained. And finally, 14 months later, what was originally just an idea has transformed into this. This project truly has blood, sweat, and tears in it. And if it could talk, the stories it would tell of my life while building this would be a novel. The ups and downs, the highs and lows, but it was all worth it. The entertainment center is great, but the lessons that I learned while building it are the true treasure. Talk about home improvement meets self-improvement, am I right? I hope you guys got some tips, tricks, inspiration, motivation, or you just enjoyed the vibes. This entertainment center was a journey, and I hope y'all loved going on this journey with me. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and like this video. It also really helps my channel, so consider it my little virtual tip jar. And if you want to share the love and transformation, then send it to a friend. Thanks y'all so much for watching. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, and I will see y'all with my next video very soon. Bye.